good friends now. That's what I love about this group. I have, well now, 1,000 more.
Right, Chris?
Hey guys.
Hey. What's up? Got a video of your son today or what?
I did. I got a video of almost everything. I'll do some editing.
For over 30 years. He's recently retired as a controller.
I thank you for joining us today, demonstrating your love for our country and exercising our civic responsibility. When I, as a teenager, had the fortune to arrive in this great nation from Cuba, I placed my right hand over my heart and learned to recite an unwavering commitment to our nation, the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice and liberty and justice for all. These are not just 31 words. Those words represent the credo of our nation. They represent our ancestors' legacy, our birthright, and above all, our responsibility to bequest its principle to future generations. To our great nation's history, hundreds of thousands of brave men and women have taken their last breath of air, guaranteeing our rights to be here. It is our responsibility to assure that subsequent generations will likewise live in a nation under God with liberty and justice for all. Brothers and sisters, citizens, I believe that our nation is at a very significant crossroad. I believe that there are forces desiring to crumble the pillars that have sustained our nation's greatness. Forces wanting to replicate failed social models contrary to our people's spirit and contrary to our nation's heritage.
Yeah!
We cannot allow this to happen for ourselves and for generations to follow. Unimaginable as it may have been in the past, I have an uncanny feeling that I am experiencing a replay of a sorrowful episode in Cuba's history. This episode, with an unwritten last chapter, has lasted for 50 years and has brought nothing but suffering and deprivation for the Cuban people. Over 50 years ago in Cuba, a charismatic and eloquent young lawyer gained the public pulpit and promised to bring change. He pledged to end political corruption. He promised transparency. He vowed to rid the nation of injustice. He committed to improve the life of the citizens. The people of all races, young and old, rich and poor, intellectual and otherwise, were all mesmerized by the young lawyer's mystique. The press embraced and promoted his ideals and insights, never questioning his intent or his goals. They rooted for his success. That young lawyer was Fidel Castro, and the Cuban nightmare was about to begin.
Here!
His government effectively neutralized the opposition. The government disarmed the population and formed an internal security force, the Committee to Defend the Revolution, to spy on the people in each neighborhood. A militia force was created to control the population and respond to the neighborhood spies' accusations. The peoples were separated from their churches and synagogues as spiritual servants. Banks were taken over, then all industry, and finally most of the land was confiscated from the rightful owners. The young lawyer became the maximum leader, and the people became the servants of the state. 50 years later, the Cuban people are still waiting for the unfulfilled promise to bring change. I pray that any similarity between the Cuban experience and today's America is pure coincidence. My life experience has taught me that we have to do more than just pray. We have to be vigilant. We have to play the very active role, rejecting any and all attempts to corrupt the nation. We have to persuade those emotionally captivated and mesmerized to awaken. Our nation's economic problem have been fundamentally caused by greed for power and wealth.
That's right.
Contrary to the notion pursued by the current administration, private greed is not remedied with government greed. And with more money, greed is cured with consequences. We need to remind public officials that they are the voter's servant, not their master. We need to use the power of the ballot to take away the privilege to serve from those public officials whose better judgment has been corrupted by the power granted to them by us. Captains of industries and organizations that wrongfully and willfully mismanage their responsibility in pursuit of personal aggrandizement and enrichment must be allowed to drown in their own cesspool of misdeeds. It is imperative that our society emphasize that actions have consequences. The response to a problem shall be not to change our laws, but rather to find solutions to comply with our laws. The response to a problem is to fire elected officials who are derelict in their responsibility by rubber stamping without reading legislation, ravaging our Constitution, and stealing our individual wealth. The response to a problem is to elect courageous representatives whose objective is to promote the essence of our nation in liberty, individual rights, democracy, and our economic system. Representatives whose duty and moral commitment is to serve the constituency, not self-interest, special interest, or party leadership dictate. This is not a Republican, Independent, or Democrat problem. It is the we the people problem. We have to get together and rid our ID from our nation's lexicon the notion that elected officials know better how to spend the fruits of our hard work. Brothers and sisters, citizens, I believe that our nation is at a very significant crossroad. I believe that working together, raising our voices, and exercising our vote, we can assure that our nation continues the path charted by our founders and remain forevermore, as President Reagan wisely reminded us, that shining city upon the hill. Thank you. God bless you.
Well done.
Better than the politicians?
Absolutely. Far better.